This is TWiT.
It's so clear at this point that Trump is completely puppet mastering this TikTok thing. Because now you've got Oracle in the mix. Yeah. And there's no question, because Larry Ellison is a Trump supporter. He had fundraisers for him, that the president called him up and said, "Hey, Larry, wouldn't you like to own TikTok?"
I think Oracle is ideal because they have the morality and the intestinal fortitude necessary.
You know they won't ruin TikTok.
It will slot in right between their database products. And what the hell does this company even make? Who cares?
Java.
Java, yes.
Other things Oracle has ruined. .com.
Yeah.
I mean, God, whatever. I just want.
You got to wonder. Okay.
No, I think this is completely at the behest of the president. No question in my mind.
But okay, put your Larry Ellison hat on, and if you were,
try not to get
told, hey, why don't you say you're bidding on TikTok too? If you were trying to make a case, why would we, Oracle, want TikTok? Could you even make the case? Why?
So
that you could, in terms of them being the hoster of the data, right? Because, they just got Zoom earlier this year to agree to host some of their data in Oracle's cloud. So reportedly, they did that by undercutting everybody else's price. So they don't care about how much it costs them to do it. It's a marquee account, right? And you're like, hey, we host Zoom and we host TikTok. So look at our cloud.
I think that Oracle is the Oldsmobile of the tech world, or at least they should be, because Oldsmobile's not around anymore. But Oracle buying this company, or whatever parts of this company. I think it's like U.S., Canada, Australia, and
the same ones Microsoft originally said they were going to buy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think would trigger a mass exodus away from the service, and it would devalue it immediately. So I hope they do it, because you could spend up to $15 billion. I think they have $43 billion in cash and other assets. So they're going to need an outside investor to make the purchase. So they get rid of all the cash and then buy a product that dies overnight. I think it's the perfect outcome for this. So I support Oracle buying TikTok. In fact, I'd like to make a bumper sticker to that effect to put it on my car. I hope it's what happens.
Well, the other reason, if you're a Larry Ellison...
I'm on Team Oracle.
Team Ellison.
Team Ellison.
Now, if you're on Team Ellison, the other reason you want to do this is you make Microsoft pay more money for it, right?
Oh, that's really what's going on. I didn't even think of that. Of course.
Yeah.
So do you think?
Larry Ellison, he's the evil genius.
It's the old Salesforce play. I get it.
He is the evil genius. He's sitting there going, how can I mess with Microsoft? Let's see. Let's throw your hat into the ring on TikTok and tell them you're going to pay $30 billion. So they have to pay $35 billion.
That can backfire, though. Sometimes you hold up that paddle one too many times.
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
I don't see Larry Ellison ever getting the last laugh against Microsoft, frankly. But, I mean,
he's going to try.
He's going to try. He tried to mess up Jedi from Microsoft, right? He was in there bidding on it, and then the government was like, "You don't have a cloud."
He spent his entire career doing stuff like this. He tried to get Steve Jobs back at Apple when Gil Amelio was running the show, and he
is Mr. Burns. Isn't he?
He is Mr. Burns.
Excellent.
Right. And most people are like, why is he rich again? What is he?
Why is he rich? And he's very rich, by the way. He's not just rich.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he's only alive now because he feeds off the blood of children. I don't understand how this guy is a thing.
Trace Comma rich.
No, people still buy Oracle databases, and they pay Oracle a lot of money to maintain for maintenance plans on their database.
Is it a better enterprise database? I mean, is that the case?
Is that still the case?
So it depends who you ask, right? It's one of those things that people have had them for so long. It's like you've had an Oracle database for so long, you're just going to keep it going.
That I understand. Legacy, I understand.
We have an oil thing in the cellar, so we just keep getting oil. But at some point,
Paul, the burner ran out again.
Yeah.
Got to call the oil company.
Attach a dirty hose from a truck to the side of the house. Pump the house full of some explosive liquid.
I used to have an oil burner heater in Connecticut. Once I let the oil run low, it blew soot all over everything. Oh, my God. It was a nightmare.
No, there are people out there who are in the younger generation who look at Microsoft and Oracle and say, I hope neither of them buy it because they both are enterprise companies who don't understand consumers. I hope Twitter gets it.
That's fair. And I actually think if life made any sense, Twitter can't afford TikTok, but they have the experience needed to make this thing fly. They're the only company that does. Microsoft has consumer experience, but not expertise.
I know. No, the people who are pulling the strings on this, and you can kind of guess who are all the sources on all these leaks about this stuff. It's the analysts, right? I mean, it's the venture capitalists like Sequoia, who also have a stake in TikTok, who are talking to everybody about this, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think that's who's telling people who's bidding.
They're trying to get these because they could be on both sides of the transaction because they would need to help Oracle buy it. And it's like a real estate.
And they'd have to help Microsoft buy it too, or they'd be involved in that transaction too, right?
I was really wrong. I said last week that Microsoft would drop their bid completely.
I know, and we told you no.
Wrong. Yeah, you were right.
I still want you to be right about that. It could still happen.
We both do.
I wonder now if any sale will happen. I think this has really gotten ridiculous.
I know. Right. So now they have until what? What's the new date? It's not September 15th.
He changed it from 45 to 90 days.
Right.
The election is in 77 days.
Yeah.
So
after
maybe we just don't worry about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember, there's an interregnum between the election and inauguration of a couple of months.
Right. Right.
Wouldn't it be funny if he extended it till like January 21st? So either I'm going to be in complete charge by then, or it won't matter.
Not going to care.
It just won't matter.
Yeah. Well, let's see who bids next week because it's just every week we get new bidders.
Sears? Could Sears buy this thing?
Sears.
I mean, like what? Someone on Twitter said something like Pepperidge Farms.
Pepperidge Farms, TikTok.
Okay, the new deadline is November 12th.
November 12th,
November
after
12th
the election.
Isn't
that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, when is it? It's sometime in November. Yeah.
I've stopped trying to parse any of this stuff. It's just noise now.
It is at this
TikTok
point.
should be a thing that none of us on this podcast should have ever cared about or thought about. It's something like we sort of understand is happening outside of our world, but it doesn't matter. The fact
I've already got TikTok pick of the week lined up, guys. I'm just telling you.
Actually, after Sunday's TWiT, Amy Webb convinced me I should not have TikTok on my phone. And then there's an op-ed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's an op-ed piece by Tim Wu in the New York Times today saying we should absolutely ban TikTok.
Right.
But I don't kind of agree with his premise, which is, well, the Chinese are doing it to us, so we should do it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
good thinking.
Yeah, that's good thinking. I'm just of the opinion that that's what we do. We are open and we stand up for openness.
Yeah.
And and just because Turkey and China and Iran have a closed internet doesn't mean, oh well, we got to retaliate. No, we should.
Yeah.
This is what we created as an open internet.
Arguing that the internet that we pretend exists doesn't exist, and that it's going to be closed. It's always closed. And I'm sorry, but that's literally not the point of the internet.
Right.
Right.
And I think it's appropriate for us as a free nation to stand up for a free internet. And just because some regime is closing it down now, and I just don't think it's appropriate to say, well, it's Chinese, so we don't want it.
Well, is that the level you want to aspire to? We want to be just like Turkey, North Korea, and China?
We don't.
Or Iran or whatever.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it was an interesting op-ed. I was surprised because Tim's pretty smart. But I just thought, well, this doesn't seem right to me.
Well, I think something about TikTok that has really cranked the crazy valve in people. And I don't look, if the government wants to ban it or military or whatever, that's absolutely fine.
Completely
no
fine.
problem.
And they should.
No problem.
And if if Wells Fargo bans it, which they did, fine.
Yep. Absolutely.
If I should decide, no TWiT employee should have TikTok on their company phone.
We don't want it on our corporate network. Absolutely not a problem. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's an appropriate reaction. The United States of America should not be banning apps.
It's just banning it is one thing. We're going to separate this company somehow and give it to someone else. Like, what are you talking? It's not based in the United States. Like, it's unbelievable. It's no wonder the world hates us. It's no wonder. It's no wonder.
Amy's point, and so this is a personal decision. I took TikTok off.
Yeah. What was her point for you as a person not to use TikTok?
Her point is, many have said this, including Ben Thompson on Stratechery, is that China's goal really is economic hegemony, and that TikTok is a very important tool in that. She said, ByteDance is not a social media company. It's an artificial intelligence company. They were involved in creating the social credit scoring system in China. They are using this to gather information. I mean, I don't care if China knows what books are on my bookshelf. And by the way, I never use TikTok to create. It's a passive viewing thing. So I'm not too worried about what information it might gather. More to me, what is concerned is how it might use TikTok in the same way that, by the way, Facebook is being weaponized to slant the content in such a way to spread misinformation and so forth. And Facebook, there was just a study came out that shows that Facebook is probably not actively, but their algorithm is surfacing misinformation about COVID far more than is surfacing reliable information about COVID.
That's weird because I actually go to Facebook for my COVID information.
You're smart enough not to. I know you're joking. You're smart enough not to, but
let me tell you, the people that I follow on Facebook are geniuses, and they have all the best ideas.
This was I read this on The Guardian. We'll talk about it later on Twig, I'm sure. This is a story, a study. Who is it from? I'm looking at the article right now. Well, as an example, it was a report from Avaaz, A-V-A-A-Z. It said that the Facebook found a global network of 82 sites spreading health misinformation over at least 5 countries used Facebook to generate 3.8 billion views over the last year. April, 460 million views in a single month. And so that's the problem, is that I don't think necessarily with Facebook's cooperation, but certainly without Facebook stopping it, is being weaponized against us. So I think TikTok could easily be weaponized in that kind of way by the Chinese government. So consider what you're consuming.
Could is one of those.
Could doesn't mean they are.
Things. I mean,
I mean, we already know that you can't talk about the Uyghur Muslims on there. You can't talk about Hong Kong on there. They definitely are censoring it. There was evidence for a while that if you were overweight, they were blocking you. On my current TikTok feed, there are many overweight people, so that's obviously stopped.
Now they're considered humorous.
Now it's just funny.
I've always kind of felt like when this thing's first started up, my take on TikTok, aside from the whole China angle, is like, this just feels temporary to me. I don't, and obviously it could be wrong about anything, but I mean, I don't feel like TikTok has legs. Haven't we had several services that were short form videos that kind of came and went? I mean, I don't know.
The only reason I like it, and it's purely sentimental, is I just feel like it's become a great creative platform for a lot of people, and they really are doing some really wonderful stuff. So I like seeing that. But
look, I can go to YouTube. I can watch a video of a fox hopping on a trampoline. It's fun. I don't need to go to TikTok.
It's true. It's true. And that's the point, is the American companies like Facebook and YouTube are definitely using the algorithm to slant. Yeah, they're slanting stuff already.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's appropriate for a personal decision. I took it off. That's fine. Appropriate for a company decision. It's just not appropriate for the U.S. government to ban TikTok, I don't think.
For the public, yeah. I mean, like in government, in the military, no problem. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.